MLB higher or lower career home runs. Which out of two players has the most career home runs? That's the game we're playing. It was sent to me by a fan, a viewer named Gareth. And I'm very excited to finally hop into this, try to get a good streak going in. So we're just going to play a few rounds and see how things end up. And the game is incredibly simple. Feel free to play at home. Just pick the player that you think hit the most career home runs. So we've got Jim Rice versus Doug DeCinces. This is close. This is pretty close. I'm picturing both these guys. They're definitely in the 300s, I feel. I'm going to say Jim Rice maybe around 380 and maybe Doug DeCinces around 350. So I'm going to pick Jim Rice, Hall of Famer, MVP winner, but Doug DeCinces, I know he had some pop for sure. Okay, Jim Rice 382, Doug DeCinces. Ooh, wow. Okay, so Doug DeCinces, I honestly thought he did more than that. Jim Rice versus Mark Teixeira. Mark Teixeira, in my mind, had a lot of home runs. He might have broke 400. I'm gonna say he has more than Jim Rice at 382. I'm gonna pick Tex for this one. Tex 409. All right. So we've got two. Chuck Klein is up next. Chuck Klein. I think Chuck Klein was like 30s and 40s. It was a very live ball. I don't know if he would have gotten to 409. He definitely had some big seasons for sure, but I don't know if he had necessarily the longevity to get to 409. I'm going to pick Tex for this one, but I feel like it's close. Chuck Klein, just 300. Okay. Again, so some of these I'm a bit off in my estimations. Chuck Klein 300 versus Frank Howard. Frank Howard was a big-time slugger at a time where maybe home runs, there weren't the most of them being hit. Whereas Chuck Klein played in a more live ball era than Frank Howard. I'm still going to pick Frank Howard, though. I'm going to say Frank Howard got more than 300. I could be dead wrong. Frank Howard could be in 280, 290 range, but we'll see. Frank Howard, 382. Great. I believe that's as much as Jim Rice had. Okay, Frank Howard versus Joey Bats. So do I think Joey Bats had more home runs than Frank Howard's 382? Oh, this is tough. I'm trying to remember. Did he hit 400? You know, did he get there? Was there a Joey Bats 400th home run highlight that plays during commercials on MLB TV that I just happened to have missed? It's tough. I'm going to say Frank Howard for this one. Obviously, Joey Bats had some big years. He had like a 50 homer year. I'm going to pick Frank Howard. Joey Bats, 344. Okay, so we're still doing good. We got a score of 5. Joey Bats versus Tino Martinez. Ooh, okay. Tino Martinez, the great Yankee first baseman. I feel like Tino was a good hitter, but maybe he didn't even hit like the most home runs. Like maybe he had maybe topped out 20, 30s usually, 20s or 30s. I'm going to go Joey Bats. I'm going to go Joey Bats. Say Joey Bats had more home runs than Tino Martinez. Tino Martinez, ooh. I mean, they really tried to get me with that one. A 344 versus a 339. Are you kidding me? That's a total toss-up. Reggie Smith versus Tino Martinez. Reggie Smith was a really good player. He was really good, but I'm not sure if he had more than 339. I could be dead wrong. We're going to go Tino. Reggie Smith, 314. That's pie. That's pie, ladies and gentlemen. I've got 7 in a row. Harold Baines, definitely more. Harold Baines, I feel like, was around that maybe 370 range. 384. There you go. So 384 of Harold Baines versus Gil Hodges. I'm going to go Baines. On this one. Gil Hodges, by the way, recently inducted to the Hall of Fame. I guess I won this year. I guess it was last year. It was via Veterans Committee. Gil Hodges, 370, though. That surprised me. I didn't think he was that close. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. versus Gil Hodges. That one's a little bit easier. Vladimir Guerrero Sr., 449 for him. Tulo, that's pretty much a slam dunk. Tulo, one of my favorite players ever, though. So we're trying to get into some easier ones, hopefully. We had some tough ones early. Tulo versus Raul Ibanez. Ibanez can be my pick here. 305 for Ibanez. Ibanez, great hitter. Not the greatest defender, although he does take pride in his defense. We're up to 12 in a row. Steve Finley. I feel like Steve Finley's in the 300 club, which would be 300 home runs, 300 stolen bases. I don't know. It's possible he could have 303 or 301 home runs, in which case, I would be in trouble. But I feel like he has more than 300. And if he has more than 300, then chances are he has more than 305. Let's see. Steve Finley. Oh no! Raul Ibanez, 305 versus 304. So our first game ends at 12. What an incredible finish there. That was really something. All right, we're gonna go for a second game here. Try to beat that score of 12. I also did have a high score of 18 from a previous off-screen run. Moises Alou or Ron Gant? Ooh, I'm gonna go Moises Alou. I feel like Moises Alou underrated in his day. I'll put it that way. Moises Alou 332, Ron Gant 321. Okay, it was very close. It was very close. Maybe I should have respected Ron Gant more. This one's tricky. I feel like Sean Green did have a lot of home runs. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Sean Green had more than 332 home runs. He had a really good career. I believe he is tied, or maybe holds the total base record. I think he had a 4-homer game where he also hit a double or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna. This is tough. They played around the same time too. I'm gonna go Sean Green. Sean Green 328. Game over. There you go. That's how quick it can end, guys. That's how quick it can end. Let's go to game 3. All right, game 3 here. Prince Fielder versus Sammy Sosa. Interesting choice of picture for Sosa. I guess that's just whatever's on Wikipedia. Fielder hit as many home runs as his father. That's a stat that people cite a lot. Sammy Sosa hit more. Sammy Sosa hit way more, 609 versus 319. And one thing I will point out here in this game, well, actually, I was going to say not many people have hit more home runs than Sammy Sosa. Willie Mays is one of them at 660. I know that one off the top of my head. But you could get, to a point where it's Willie Mays versus, Joe Carter, or it's Willie Mays versus Robin Ventura or something like that, and you're just cycling through. It's like, well, obviously Willie Mays hit more, and so I'm going to break the record, or I'm going to end up with like Barry Bonds or something like that. This game will get rid of the top guys if you pick them like 2 or 3 times in a row. So don't worry about that too much. Willie Mays did hit more home runs than Joe Carter, although that is a lot of home runs for Joe Carter. And now we're on to George Foster versus Joe Carter. This is interesting to me. George Foster played in an era where there were less home runs. I believe he won an MVP award. He was definitely a better player than Joe Carter, but did he hit more home runs than him? I'm going to go Joe Carter, guys. I'm going to go Joe Carter. Feel free to disagree. We're about to find out. George Foster, 348. Okay, so we're still hanging in there at 4. Jermaine Dyer, George Foster. Again, kind of a similar conundrum. Jermaine Dyer, really good player, though. No doubt about that. Did Jermaine Dyer hit 348 home runs, though? I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to pick George Foster for this one. Jermaine Dye, 325. All right. That's 5 for us. Ted Williams, well, he hit 521. So that's pretty easy. But again, we can't take advantage of Ted Williams being in the game for too long. We're going to pick him. He had more than Dave Parker. And then he will be gone from the game now. So now it's Mark Reynolds versus Dave Parker at 339. Mark Reynolds, he was known for his strikeout totals. He was also known for struggles with vision, like his eyeballs. But did he hit more home runs than Dave Parker? This is a tough one for me. I'm gonna go. I know, and he played in Coors. I know he had some big home run years. I'm actually gonna go Dave Parker on this one. I'm gonna say Dave Parker had more. Yep, Mark Reynolds just shy of 300. Frank Robinson, 500 home run club, 586 to be precise. That's pretty easy for us. He did hit more than Don Baylor. All right, so it's going to be Don Baylor versus Harold Baines. All right, we already saw Harold Baines. We know he hit more than Don Baylor at 338. Ooh, Adrian Gonzalez. These two, American League mostly. I mean, Gonzalez, I don't know, Padres and Dodgers. Yeah, what's coming to mind here for Harold Baines versus Adrian Gonzalez? I guess I'm going to go Baines, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Gonzalez got to like 400. We're going to go Baines. Gonzalez, 317. Okay. We're good. Hanging in there. That's 12 in a row. Adam Dunn versus Adrian Gonzalez. Pretty sure that's going to be Dunn. Dunn, 462. Yep, okay. 462 of Dunn versus Jay Bruce. No disrespect to Jay Bruce. He did not get particularly close to Adam Dunn in terms of home runs. Ooh, here we go. Edgar versus Jay Bruce. Edgar was not like a 500 home run hitter. He was what you would call like a pure hitter, 300 average, 400 on base, 500 slugging hitter. And I feel like he had more than 319, but it might surprise people to some extent how few home runs Edgar had, especially if you're comparing him to someone like David Ortiz, who's the other, or even like like when you think of like DH Hall of Famer, you think of Ortiz and you think of Edgar, and maybe before that you think a little bit of Paul Molitor. I'm gonna go Edgar for more than Jay Bruce here, but again, he probably has fewer home runs than we think. Oh, that's your ball game. Jay Bruce, more career home runs than Edgar Martinez. Who'da thunk it? Not me, obviously, although I was aware that I was in trouble when making that decision. All right, I'm going to go for another game here to try to beat 14 is our on-camera record. Andre Dawson or Carl Yastrzemski. So this one's tricky. I feel like Andre Dawson's around 440. Carl Yastrzemski played for about 440 years in Major League Baseball, but again, this is a career that intersected with like the second dead ball era, and I don't think of him as like a crazy home run total guy to begin with, like more of a pure hitter and just a great player all around. It's definitely a better player than Andre Dawson, although they're both Hall of Fame outfielders. Yeah, I'm going to go Andre Dawson because I feel like Andre Dawson, he definitely at least broke 400. And I don't know for sure if Yaz did or not. For some reason, I feel like Yaz had like 360. Let's see. Andre Dawson, 438. Yaz, 452. All right, getting started here. Hopefully trying to break our record one more time. Lance Berkman or Andrew Jones. I know Andrew Jones has like a 439 or 440 or something like that. Berkman, I've also looked at his Baseball Reference page fairly recently. I feel like he was kind of unfairly done on one and done on the Hall of Fame ballot, although I don't think he reached 400. I think Berkman maybe 370, Jones 440, so Jones for me. Jones 434, Berkman 366. Not too shabby. Sosa, again, we've talked about this. He's over 600, but also just in general, he's going to disappear. Sosa versus Al Simmons, we've already seen. We pick Sosa again, and there goes Al Simmons. So 307 of Al Simmons versus Carlos Lee. Carlos Lee could hit some, homers. This is believe it or not, I'm actually not old enough to have seen Al Simmons play in his heyday. I'm sure he was electric. I do remember Carlos Lee. I bet Carlos Lee's mid 300s, Carlos Lee 358, Al Simmons 307. That's 4 in a row for us. Ted Williams, 521, right? Could have been a lot more than that if not for World War II and Korean War. Again, more than 2 low. I feel like we've already seen that matchup before, as we are at 6 in a row. Ooh, Richie Sexson. Richie Sexson, one of the tallest hitters I've seen. Also hit, I think, one of the farthest home runs in MLB history. I want to say it was at Miller Park. I want to say it was during his Brewers days. I would definitely think of him as more than 225. I would think of him as around 300. Let's see. Richie Sexson, 306. Yep, my instincts were correct there. Rogers Hornsby. Ooh, this is a fun one because Hornsby, incredible player, pretty much the National League's answer to Babe Ruth. I'm not sure if he got 300 homers, Maybe he did. Maybe he was low 300s. But this is a tight matchup. This to me feels like a total toss-up. I'm going to go Sexton. I'm going to say Hornsby might have had like 280. Hornsby 301. Wow. Okay, so Hornsby did break 300, but he did not beat Sexton in this regard. Sexton was at 325. Rogers Hornsby versus Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy, a hero for my parents growing up as Atlanta Braves fans. Not so much for me. Did Dale Murphy hit more than 300 home runs? My first instinct is I think he did. So we're gonna see. Dale Murphy. 398. Wow, a lot more than that. Sorry for the disrespect, Dale Murphy. Reggie Jackson, he hit more than Dale Murphy. Reggie Jackson hit like 560 home runs. Also the career leader in strikeouts. So maybe that's the next Stats game. We could do career strikeouts. Duran Johnson versus Reggie Jackson. Not so tricky, that one. We're up to 11 in a row now. Prince Fielder, I know he's 319. Same as his dad, Cecil Fielder. Let's see here. Prince Fielder versus Joe DiMaggio. I think Joe DiMaggio, you might think of him first instinct, oh, that guy hit 500 homers. He didn't. I feel like he hit about 350, though, which would put him at more than Prince Fielder. Joe DiMaggio, 361. There you go. We're at 13 in a row now, going for it. Paul Goldschmidt. How many home runs does Paul Goldschmidt have? He just hit a ton last season. I will point out this game is updated through February 2023. So home runs he's hit in the regular season this year in 2023, not counting to that total. Has he hit more than 360? This is the first active player we've seen so far. Ooh, I mean, I love Goldie. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Do I think he's hit more than 361 home runs? Whew. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say he hasn't. And I could get destroyed here. I'm going to say he hasn't. He's hitting for a lot of power these days, though. Ooh, this is tough. Ooh, this is tougher than I thought. Joe DiMaggio, 315, Paul Goldschmidt. Okay, I can breathe. I can breathe a little bit. We're up to 14. Tex we've seen. We know he's about 400, 409. Okay, that's 15 in a row now. 15 in a row. Ricky Henderson hit a lot of home runs. Career leader in leadoff home runs, but he did not reach 400. I think Ricky, this is just top of my head, just from having looked at his baseball reference page a lot. I think he's maybe like 332. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ricky's 332. Let's go. Let's see if I know it. Oh no, 297. Well, I thought I was really about to impress you all there. Ooh, this one's tough. This is a tough one, guys, because Campanella started his career in Negro Leagues. And he had to retire fairly early, so he didn't play that long in MLB, actually. He's one of the all-time great players, all-time great catchers. Playing for the Dodgers, you know, I feel like Ricky's got him beat. I really do. At 297, I think Ricky's got him beat. We'll see. This is for 17 in a row. Ricky Henderson versus Campanella, two of the all-time greats. Campanella, 259. Ricky's got him beat. Okay. We're going for number 18 here. Frank Thomas. He had more than Roy Campanella. I can tell you that much. 521 for the Big Hurt. Wow, that's as many as Ted Williams. Rocky Colavito, definitely underrated slugger from his day, but he did not have more home runs than Frank Thomas. So that gives us 19 in a row. Can we go for the even 20? Can we go for the even 20? Ooh, this is a fun one. Mike Trout versus Rocky Colavito. How many home runs do I think Mike Trout has? Well, let's try to be smart about this. He's missed some games in recent years. He made his debut. He's made his debut 2011, first full season 2012. So the question is, with the missed games in mind, with the 2020 season in mind, do I think Mike Trout has surpassed the 374 of Rocky Colavito? I don't think so. I think it's Rocky for this one. We'll see. This is for 20 in a row. 350 for Mike Trout, at least going into this season. Okay, Mike Trout versus Johnny Bench. How many home runs do I think Johnny Bench hit? I feel like Johnny Bench hit more than 350. For some reason, when I'm picturing Johnny Bench's baseball reference page, I'm picturing like a 380. So I'm gonna go Johnny Bench. But he could be 330 and it could be game over. So at least I got to 20. So let's go Johnny Bench. 389. Okay, we're still alive. 21 in a row. Okay, we're back to Yaz. We've had Yaz already, and I've completely forgotten how many home runs he hit. So normally, if you had a better memory than me and you've seen this video, then you're probably screaming, "Hey, Bailey, I know the answer to this one." Was Yaz 3? Gosh, I can't remember. I'm gonna go Johnny Bench, right? This could be game. This would be bad. This would be a bad way to end it. I'm gonna go Johnny Bench. Yaz 452. Oh my goodness, he crushed me. He crushed me. I'm sorry, Yaz. You played in the second dead ball era. That's all. I knew you had pop for sure. That's 21. It's 21 in a row. Pretty good result, although not a great way to end the game. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed MLB home runs, higher or lower. I will leave a link in the description. See if you can beat my streak.